Jess gets in a sticky situation while Max and Murphy take their relationship to the next level. And Felix is the new boss in charge. We're talking all about it starting right now.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
What's up, AfterBuzzers? We are back again. Thank you guys for joining us once again for another after show of In the Dark. Today we are talking about episode 8, Jessica Rabbit, and this was such an amazing episode to me. I'm your host, Benny Adams, and to the left of me is the amazing...
Oh, thank you. Hey guys, Bethanie Jean.
Bethanie, I really loved this episode.
Me
What did you
too.
think about it?
Oh my gosh. Well, there was a lot going on.
Mm-hmm.
But I really enjoyed watching Max and Murphy take their relationship to the next level.
Yeah.
And I actually really enjoyed Jess's relationship scenario and kind of watching that play out. And yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great episode.
I really liked it.
So many predictions.
Yes.
Can't wait for predictions.
I cannot
always
wait.
dread predictions.
This is gonna be my favorite part, predictions.
Yeah.
It's gonna be awesome. Yeah, I really liked this episode. We got to see a lot of character development, like you said, with Max and Murphy, and especially Jess. I think Jess was the star of this episode. So can't wait to talk all about that. First, let's talk about Felix. His storyline, yeah, he's slowly getting involved more with the group, and we'll explain why a little later. But first, we want to talk about how he has bought the new place the place that Murphy works at. It's called Guiding Hope. Yeah, Guiding Hope, and Murphy's mom isn't too sure about it. You know, Murphy's dad is all in. You know, they're going bankrupt. They see that Felix, he can help them out because he has money, and it just seems like Murphy's mom just isn't into it, Joy. And so it's finally revealed that, you know, she just is kind of bummed that she couldn't do what Max is doing. You know, and I feel like this place is like her baby, and she's giving it away.
Totally, and it is her other baby.
What did you think about all that?
Well, I just kept thinking, why can't he just be an investor? Because you can tell Joy, the mom, is not emotionally ready to just pass it along.
Right.
That was really painful for her. I did enjoy their final scene together where she was kind of just reconciling the fact that it's okay to create something and pass it on, and that if she was going to pass it on, it should be to Felix. He cares the most about it, and that's obviously a far better option than just closing the doors altogether.
Right. Yeah, I can kind of see that.
I loved that his attorney said, well, aside from this being the worst investment anyone in the family's ever made.
Right.
That cracked me up. But he loves it.
Yeah, and it's so interesting to see, you know, Felix take that role. And to answer your question, I think he doesn't want to be just an investor because he wants to be able to take on this project. You know, he wants people to see, you know, look what I can do.
Yeah.
I'm the owner of this. I'm the boss. I'm important, because people really don't, or he feels that people don't see him as an important figure.
Right.
And do you think, as Felix's character, do you think he's an important figure?
I think he's more important than the staff gives him credit for.
Yeah.
I think he's really undervalued, but not because he's not valuable.
I think he needs to just find his way, and this possibly could help him. And something that I really liked was when he was trying to figure out, you know, how do I get Murphy to come into work?
Yeah.
And Murphy,
I was kind of proud of him.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Because Murphy's mom, or her mom, was saying that, you know, good luck. It's never going to work. I've been trying to do it for 27 years. And I'm starting to like Felix more and more. He came up with a plan and got rid of that bench that she's...
And weekly reviews.
Yes.
Yeah, weekly performance reviews.
So go Felix. I'm really happy for him. I'm rooting for him. I think this will be a good move for him, and I'm hoping to see him get more involved with the gang and more involved in like this mystery that's going on. Because right now he's been having his own storylines apart from the show, which I like, but I definitely want to see him do more with the whole who killed Tyson thing. So yeah, we'll see.
And pretty interesting that his trash duty made him find the watch.
Yes, and we're gonna get into that a little bit later, but yeah, that was a big point. Like you said, that might be the key for him to, you know, step into that circle. So speaking of the inner circle, part of that inner circle is Max and Murphy, and they're taking their relationship to a whole new level, which I like.
Yeah. You do.
I like it. I'm still torn. Like, I'm torn even more now between Max and Murphy and DaIn and Murphy.
Right.
And so last episode, for example, I was all for Max and Murphy. And then this episode in the beginning where we see DaIn go into the bar, he's not really talking to Murphy that much. He walks out and then he gives that stare. You know, he looks back and he stares at Murphy.
Yeah.
And it just like, it literally like touched me. I'm like, he wants to like be in her life, but he can't. And you could see that longing there for her. But at the same time with Max and Murphy, you know, he's asking her to come to his place, spend the night. He does all these things for her.
Makes her a key.
Yes.
Buys a new coffee table. Buys an ottoman.
It's great. What do you think about how Max is handling all this? Because this is a Max we really haven't seen before.
Oh, you think?
Yeah.
I feel like this is exactly in line with where he sees their relationship.
Okay.
Like, he's so invested in her.
Yeah.
She's the one that's always had a really carefree attitude about it.
We're-
Like, take or leave him. He's been so good to her. He's
True.
been consistently so loving. And you can see in every scene just how much he values her and cherishes her and treats her like she's his world. And she's the one that's kind of like, man, whatever.
Yeah. Were you shocked when Murphy said, I love you back? Because I wasn't shocked when Max said, I love you. I was shocked when Murphy said, I love you. What were your thoughts?
I don't know if I was shocked. Yeah, maybe a little.
Because Murphy does
it
not.
could only go either way.
Right.
50-50 odds.
Yeah.
I think I believed she loved him. So I wasn't blown away when she confessed it. But I also don't think she probably would have said it on her own. It had to be prompted. I think he would have had to say it first, which he did. So.
When that scene came on, I was like, okay, she's gonna make up some excuse and say like, "Oh, thanks, dude."
Yeah.
Or, "Oh, cool. Let's go." And she
or even break up with him. Like, it could have gone terribly awry. She
Exactly.
could have been like, this is just moving too fast for me. You know, she could have Murphy'd out.
And part of the reason why I do think she said it is because at the time she didn't know about the second possible killer.
Yeah.
So, you know, she was
carefree.
She was a carefree.
Yeah.
She was happy. I wonder if she did know at that time, would she still say, I love you?
That's a great question, because we definitely saw her the happiest we've ever seen her.
Yeah.
Like, her little dark cloud officially lifted because she felt like there was resolve in Tyson's case. And then now here we are again.
Right.
There's more.
Do you think that Max is moving a little too fast with giving her a key? Because that caught me off guard.
Oh, I thought it was really sweet. No, I don't, because I feel like that's really in line with where he's going.
Right.
He's been so committed to her all the while, and yeah, to me that wasn't shocking or too soon, but also we don't really know how long they've been together.
True. In my head, I feel like they haven't been together that long. Maybe
I'm thinking
3 months, maybe?
That's what I'm thinking, a few months.
And I still feel like that's really quick. You know, she's never even been to his place before.
Yeah,
So
that's
she
true.
went to his place for the first time ever.
Yeah.
And then the next thing you know, he's offering her a key. And I was like, wait, what? Where did this come from? So
When
that
you know,
was,
you know.
yeah. So we'll see.
Max knows.
how that relationship goes, but I'm torn, man, because DaIn, I still can see something with that.
Yeah.
And then Chloe loves Murphy, so that's gonna be interesting.
There is a really special dynamic with her and Chloe, but I feel like children don't make marriage, right? So I feel like if Chloe wasn't in the dynamic, would you still be pining for DaIn and Murphy? Yeah.
Hands down. They're just so both Max and DaIn are completely different for Murphy in different ways.
Yes, very.
You know, DaIn is very kind of, not, I don't want to say nerdy, but
super straight-laced.
Yeah, exactly. While Max is he's like the bad boy type. He puts Murphy in her place, which I don't think anyone has ever done before. And so that's why because they're both really good for her, I think. So we'll see.
Yeah, either would be a great relationship for her.
That's right. Well, before we move on to anything else, we have a special announcement for you guys.
Hey, we just want to take a minute to thank you guys for making us the ESPN of TV Talk. And if you're watching us on YouTube, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and also subscribe and give us a 5-star because we really love your support and it allows us to keep doing what we're doing. So thank you.
That was amazing. Good job.
Thanks. I'm not a big live reader, so thank you.
I would have never guessed it. All right, so moving on to my favorite storyline of this episode, Jess. You really saw her character grow in this episode, and I cannot wait to see what the writers do with her. But pretty much she's having nightmares and anxiety.
I'm going to have nightmares from her nightmares.
Right. And
that initial scene with the trunk when we see Wesley's face would become this like demonic, oh my gosh, that was absolutely terrifying.
Right. And she's taking pills for her anxiety, and we see more of her girlfriend. And her girlfriend doesn't really seem to get what Jess is going through. Do you agree with what the girlfriend is saying? Like, she's just saying, brush it off. Yeah, Vanessa, brush it off. Think positively. Or do you think Vanessa needs to really just listen to what Jess is saying and to see how she's feeling?
Well, I think a lot of things about this, but I think the first thing is it kind of shows that their relationship, I don't think is as strong as it's been painted. Like, there's a lot of holes. Yeah. You know, in their relationship foundation. Obviously, one being the fact that Vanessa doesn't consider herself a real lesbian.
Right.
So that's a pretty huge factor. But yeah, I think it just kind of goes to show that I don't know Vanessa's the one for Brooke. Or for Brooke. I was calling her Brooke. For Jess. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, because she could have been more supportive. And not that I don't get what she's saying, and I totally understand and validate the concept of manifestation and kind of the law of attraction, and like you think on dark things and then they come to fruition. So it's not that I don't validate what she's saying. That's just not what she needs right now. Right. Like, she needs validation for her anxiety and her trauma and her PTSD.
Right. And I think Jess is starting to realize that, like you said, Vanessa is not the one for her.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Do you get that vibe too?
I get that vibe, especially, after they had that argument.
And she cheated on her?
Yeah.
Like Little Miss Honest.
That was very un-Jess-like, which totally. I liked. I liked that. Not that cheating is very wrong, you guys. Not saying that, but it was out of her character. It was something new that we got to see.
Very out of her character.
Yeah.
So she's like, I'm a liar and a cheater.
Right.
All in one episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Murphy's changing her.
Murph's rubbing off on her.
Yeah. So one thing that I really loved about Jess is we find out that she can't lie. Well, she can lie, but then when she lies,
she has the nose twitch.
Yeah, her nose twitches. I was like, oh, it's so adorable.
I know. Maybe that's why this episode's titled Jessica Rabbit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes. So we were like, okay, we know it has to do something with Jessica because Jessica's in the title, but what does the rabbit mean?
We were like,
Good
what's
call.
the Roger Rabbit reference?
I think you got it on
That
point
might
right
be
there.
it. Little bunny nose,
Right.
Jess.
And so I love how Darnell and, you know, the whole gang, they like try and help her, you know, and this is what I said about last episode. You know, they're coming together, they're becoming, you know, the unlikely duo, or not duo, but unlikely group of friends. Yeah.
But I have to say, and I've said this from the beginning, I don't entirely trust Darnell. I never have.
I do.
I don't see grief in him about his cousin. Like, there's just some weird things about how he handled it. He knew he was dead.
I think it's too obvious. I don't think the writers will make it that obvious about Darnell.
For the record,
you know?
I'm not saying I know. I'm just saying I've never entirely trusted him. And I'm sure the writers design it like that.
Yeah.
So that
I think they want to catch us
like
off guard. I think they want to catch us off guard, but we'll get to that in predictions. One thing that that really just like caught my attention was when Jess was talking to both the detectives, and you know, she was saying what happened, and she had to lie about the guy that was in her truck and how he got hit by the car. And she
by the way, she was so stressed about lying, but like it really wasn't the biggest lie.
It wasn't, but for her in that situation, it's because she's never been in a situation like that before. But what was
the real lie? Just that she didn't say they put him in his car.
Right.
I mean, it was true. She did track him there. She didn't know he had Murphy's phone. Like, she didn't make a big lie.
Right. But the big thing is that they put him in his truck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She just left some stuff out.
Right.
Like any smart girl in that scenario would do, right?
But the big thing is that she started crying.
Yes.
And so when she got back, like, she's bragging about it.
I
She's
know.
like puffing her chest out. She's like, I did this, guys. Now what? But I was thinking, like, were those real tears though? Like, do you think she really felt emotion towards him? I
think her trauma in this scenario actually fared her well.
Yeah.
I think her exposing to them how traumatized she was by seeing it is actually what set her free. Because they're like, she could never intentionally harm someone. Yeah. Which is true. She didn't intentionally harm him. She didn't harm him at all, really. But it is what set her free. But I kept thinking, and I would love to know if everyone else is thinking this. If I knew a guy murdered my friend and I watched him be killed, run over by a truck, I mean, I kind of said this last week, my initial thought would be like, sweet, like karma took care of that one. I wouldn't be just like traumatized that I watched
See, I would be Jess. I would be traumatized.
Even if you know he should die? Like, he's a bad guy. He's out murdering kids.
I think what Jess is feeling is this is a human being that just died. And
I know, she kept calling him a human man.
Right, exactly.
Isn't that funny?
And, you know, he did something wrong, or he's accused of doing something wrong, but this is still a living person. She's never seen a living person die right before her eyes.
And not to validate how traumatizing that would be. I'm not saying it would be traumatizing, but my takeaway from that would probably be more in terms of traumatized that I saw him in my trunk. That's a pretty traumatizing, and she is. Right. We know that. But I think I would leave that scenario feeling more relieved, knowing he's actually gone. Like, he didn't get away. Right. She knows he's dead. It's not rumored that he's dead. She watched him. Right. Exactly. Die. So I would think she would actually take a little comfort and peace and sleep better at night, knowing he's not in the world, rather than like traumatized that she watched him get ran over. Yeah. I sound like such a jerk.
I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum, but if you guys are in the chat, let us know what you think. Are you more on the side where you would be traumatized if this happened, or would you just be, you know, I am stoked this guy is gone because I don't have to worry about it?
Are you cold-hearted like me?
No,
or are you like,
Bethanie.
Run that guy over?
All right. So Jess, she's feeling it. And one big thing that happened when she was leaving, or she was at the bar, Chelsea the woman that's dating Dean, and I can't wait to get on her for predictions.
Oh, you got
Everyone's
it.
gonna
You
think
got a
I'm
good
crazy
one,
when I say
though.
this, but getting back to it, Chelsea accidentally tells Jess that there is another person maybe that was involved in the killing.
Right.
So Jess tells Murphy, and it sucks because Murphy is in this happy place. She finally tells Murphy, and I feel like she doesn't go all the way back to that dark place, but we start seeing signs of the Murphy we've been seeing in the past couple of episodes. How do you think Jess should have kept that secret or told her?
Ooh, that is a good question. I just feel like, how could you not?
Yeah.
That's such a big piece of information to keep
Right.
to yourself. I would understand her avoiding it because she knows that's just going to put Murph back on like the trail of being like psycho obsessed with it.
Right.
And not resting until it's all completed. But yeah, how could you not?
Right.
Yeah. I would have probably if I was her.
I agree, and even she knew it would hurt her, but they are such good friends, and like she said, like she lied so much that those past couple of days, and she couldn't lie to Murphy, so she just told her. And yeah, even though it hurt her, I think she did the right thing.
Yeah.
You know, you can't keep that big of a secret.
And let's not forget that Murphy has solved like everything up until now.
True.
So her knowing that there's a second killer out there might really serve the police force well too. Just gonna get to the bottom of it.
Yeah. And so Murphy figures out, you know, we need to find the watch that was left in Jess's car, which Murphy decided it would be a great idea to just throw it away at work.
I cannot believe she did that. I mean, in all fairness, what's her loop? Where's she gonna throw it?
Right.
Like, she's gonna throw it. She's blind. It's not like she's like, I'm just gonna go drive out to a river. So I get the simplicity of like, I'm just gonna throw it away, but at the same hand, that is so linkable to you.
Yeah, she could have told Max about it, Darnell, and they're much better at that, you know.
Someone that drives far away.
Right, exactly. Throw it in the ocean, throw it in the lake, let it get rid of the DNA. I don't know, but I thought that was very careless of Murphy.
Yeah, it was very careless and hysterical.
Yes.
That Felix found it and is wearing it and is corresponding with girls and flirting with it.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, the disaster that's going to come from this watch. We're just going to watch that unfold.
Yeah, and I can't wait to see, because this is definitely I'm kind of going, I keep on, predictions are just like always.
I know.
They just
so
sneak
many
up on us.
predictions for this one.
But yeah, Felix does find the watch, and it's going to be interesting to see, you know, how this all unravels.
And which, by the way, this means Felix could potentially get actually involved in this scenario now.
I can't wait.
Like if someone's tracking his watch, they're going to track it to his house at night or something. Like, we don't know.
Right. Well, we will talk all about that in our predictions, which obviously, as you guys can see, we cannot wait to talk about it. We have some juicy ones, you guys. But it's time to go into our special segment, our In the Dark Moments. Bethany, take it away.
Well, for celebrity news and gossip, if you guys are interested in hearing an interview with Casey, he posted today on his social media that you can reach it on vulcan.com. That's vulkan.com. And yeah, he posted on his Instagram today some pictures from a shoot, and he's got some words out there for all you fans. We know you're out there.
Nice. He's looking good.
Yeah.
He's looking good. Good for
Such a nice
him.
guy.
Yeah.
We really loved having him.
I was really
Sweetheart.
glad when he came on, and he had a lot of insight on the show. So
yes, he really did.
He said something about if you look at Murphy while she's at the bar.
Yes.
You can like
kind
see
of focus her blurry, like she's out of it. Yeah.
Real cool guy.
That was a cool insight.
So yeah, we skipped to our news and gossip. So now we're gonna go back to our special segment.
I thought that's what we were doing. Sorry.
No worries. We're gonna go back to our special segment of our In the Dark Moments.
Oh, my in the dark moments.
Mhm.
I'm going to say maybe when he gave her a key.
A key?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I just thought it was really just like a poignant moment in
Yeah.
where he really sees them going.
Okay.
Like he's inviting her into his life and he's saying, so you can come and go anytime. Also when he picked out the ottoman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
Just
nice.
basically their relationship in general. The
Right.
I love yous and the key and
Yeah. Mine was definitely when they both said I love you, because
Yeah.
you could see the happiness on
Yeah.
Murphy's face. You know, it was true happiness.
For
And
sure.
I loved that. I also liked the scene where the woman that Jess slept with, she's still in the apartment.
Oh,
Murphy
that was funny.
Murphy decides, you know, I'm gonna help my roomie out.
Yeah.
And she pulls this whole like, how dare you? How could you cheat on me?
Yeah.
Is it because or why would you cheat on a blind person?
Yeah.
And
Way to use that disability
I was like,
card.
Murphy, you are clutch. You are clutch right there.
That just made me think maybe we should start doing an in the dark moment and then in the lighthearted moment.
Yeah.
We should do like both because
And I like that.
each episode has like something emotional and then
and something
super
hilarious.
lighthearted,
That's
funny.
so true.
Such great writers on the show.
Yeah, I love it. All right. If you guys are in the chat, let us know what your in the dark moments are. We definitely want to know. But now let's move on to our favorite part, the part we've been anticipating like no other, predictions. Right.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
You go ahead first.
Oh man, there's so many. I don't even know where to start. Well, on more surface ones, I think Brooke's going to dump Vanessa.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's going to just have a realization that she's not the one, and if she were, she wouldn't have wanted to cheat on her, and
Right.
she wouldn't be saying things like "I'm not a real lesbian," things like that, and she would validate her feelings.
Okay.
I also, I have a piggyback thought for your prediction, so I'll wait for that one.
Okay.
I also think my real prediction is from the second the girl walked in the bar, the Asian girl that said, you know, I just went on the worst date ever, and she ends up going home with Jess.
Mm-hmm.
I suspect she was sent there and she is somehow correlated to the crime.
Ooh.
I do. And even before they mentioned the Chinese restaurant,
Yeah.
I think she might be related to the florist
Okay.
that was killed, and maybe the Chinese restaurant's like a family business, and I think she's either trying to avenge her brother, cousin, something's death, or maybe she is in that business as well, and maybe Nia, or is that her name? Nia from prison, we haven't seen her in a while, maybe has sent for her to get in Murphy's life, and they're using Jess as a way in.
That would be crazy.
I
if
mean, it
that
was
happened.
very abrupt. Like, she
Yeah.
just sits next to her in a bar and is like, out the get, like, I'm a lesbian, what's up?
Right.
It was kind of
that was
obscure.
weird. Yeah. I
And I'm
agree
like,
with you on that.
Yeah, I think she was sent.
Right.
Or I think she's, involved somehow.
Okay. Well, real quick, Amy Motorhouse wanted to share her in the dark
What's
moment.
up, Amy?
Pretzel in the shopping cart.
Aww,
That was adorable.
Yes.
We agree with you.
That
was awesome.
adorable. Good one.
All right, so my prediction is, this is a little bit crazy, but I think what if Chelsea has something to do with Tyson's murder? And the reason why I'm saying this is she didn't randomly show up at the police station because she's dating DaIn, but I just
And
found
he did say, let's go to dinner.
yeah, but I just find it hard to believe that they would just let her in an area where there's so much
Yeah.
sensitive things in there, you know? And so I thought that was very interesting. You know, what if
I
she's
love that prediction.
dating
It's so, like,
the
out there.
detective to, you know, the saying, keep your friends close and your
Yeah.
enemies closer. She's getting all of the intel and they don't even know.
So my thought, as soon as you shared that with me, was the irony that Jules and DaIn are partners on this case, and they would both be dating someone involved
Yes. I didn't even think about that.
Like, that would be wild, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, who knows?
That was crazy.
And we've never seen Darnell have an interaction with Chelsea. Like, what if they're intentionally avoiding each other because they don't want to be related? You know, they don't want to get busted like they are familiar. Who knows?
I can't wait. I cannot
I
wait.
love the way your mind thinks, Benny. That is a really fun
I try,
prediction.
but we'll see, because my last big prediction after I think it was like the second episode, I was completely off. So we'll see what will happen.
But who cares if you're on or off? To me,
Yeah.
predictions are just
It's
like
fun.
Like,
Why
where's
not?
this gonna go?
Awesome. Well, you guys, we want you to let us know what you think is going to happen in the show. Just type it in the
Yeah.
comments below. Let us know. But that is all the time we have for you guys today. It was fun.
So fun.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. I'm your host, Benny Adams. You can find me on all social media at bennyjadams.
And I'm Bethanie Jean. You can find me on Instagram at bethaniejeanofficial. That's Bethanie with an IE. You can also find my YouTube channel for interviews, and I'm also on Facebook.
Awesome. Well, we'll see you guys next week.
Bye,
Take it
guys.
easy.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.